All right, we are officially live. Let's see what happens here. There it is. I got to delete this one. Delete, delete forever. All right, we are live and in person. Welcome to Liquor Labs, the breakdown. This is episode 18. Thank you everybody for wow, so blessed. 500 hours of watch time. Thanks to everyone who supported. Just really, really grateful for everyone, consuming this content. So again, everyone, I know this is a like marketing bro shit, but smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. I'm getting so many viewers, but none of y'all are subscribing. I know no one's gonna know if you subscribe. You will only know if you subscribe. So just please subscribe. Follow me on LinkedIn as well. Ryan Liquor, easy search, nothing crazy. Yeah, so thank you everyone. Like, subscribe, share, hate it, love it, loathe it. I don't care. Just I want that engagement. A lot to talk about today. Shopify's new product, Elon's other company, this vibe marketing, vibe coding, which I've always said it had a name. I never knew it had a name, but it has a name. Vibe marketing, vibe coding. I actually heard it yesterday from a coder, and then I forget the platform. A platform talked about vibe marketing. To me, vibe marketing is Canva and all this other stuff. So cool stuff. Very excited about today. Very excited about today's show. Again, we're live. Like, subscribe. Great stuff. Let me just a little about myself. Longtime marketer, creative direction, ideas. I got it all. I want to disrupt. I'm a disruptor. I'm a disruptor to the fact that I want to think different. I don't want to think traditionally. I want to see what's out there. And also, I know what works, right? So I've been in the trenches. I know the platforms. I'm not just looking at data, right? So those are my skills. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to show you a piece of content I made probably 3 years ago now with I have two favorite videographers. They both Sam 1 and Sam 2. Sam 2 made this with me. Sam 1 and Sammy and Samantha, we crushed it. So good stuff. I used a Jewel Santana beat. Hopefully they let me play it. But yeah, so great things to come. I want to get right into it. I want to talk about the featured creator for this week, and that is, let's pull it up here. Okay, featured creator of the week is Lera Andronova. I hope I'm saying it right, Lera. Lera is in high school, people, and she is absolutely crushing it. So hats off to Lera. She's always putting out content. You could even take a look. You could take a look how her views continue to go up here. So let me just, you could take a look how her views continue to go up. 50. She has three pinned here. We're gonna get right into it with her. Let's just check that we can hear her, and we can. So ChatGPT had an update. So we're not just gonna feature her content. We're actually gonna give you some value today. So let's get right into it. Lera, again, she's on TikTok. Follow her. Great creator. She's in high school. She's crushing it. Lera, thank you. You've helped me become a better coder and have given me some good tips. So without further ado, let's get into Lera's content. Let's get into ChatGPT 5.2 update. So
ChatGPT 5.2 just came out, so here's the TLDR if you don't want to go through all of OpenAI's product release pages. So the bottom line here is that most people understand that ChatGPT 5.2 isn't some groundbreaking benchmark, but its new big thing is that it's now finishing all of its tasks cleanly and following all the way through. Before 5.2, the sentiment definitely was that the model did 70% of the work and then you'd have to touch up and polish it in the other 30%. But now 5.2, and I'm talking about the thinking variant here, is going all the way to the 100% benchmark. OpenAI even describes ChatGPT 5.2 as a model that is so much better at summarizing long documents and really understanding uploaded files, which was kind of a challenge before. Besides this, OpenAI also reports that you don't need to babysit your model choices as much. 5.2 Auto is explicitly designed to better decide when.
okay, so what she's saying is that, I don't know if you probably heard her, but we've all experienced this where we're entering something into ChatGPT and we put in a document. Now make sure that you at your company you're able to upload proprietary information before going into these chatbots, because I know under regulatory constraints you cannot just put any document into an AI platform. But if you wanted to extensively look at a document, I found prompts that bypass this, but now with 5.2, it's going to feel, it's going to go through it in detail. So for instance, I had a prompt that says, I'm going to actually read it to you. I have a prompt. Where is it? No, I don't want to go there. Let's go here. Oh, here we go. So I have a prompt that says, examine this PDF very carefully and take your time. Examine all pages without exception. And this is the funny part, because I was doing research on this and I found this creator. It wasn't Lera, someone else, but not Lera's a coder in the trenches, which I'll show you. She said you have to say, remember, take a deep breath and take a deep breath and take it step by step. You have to tell Gemini this. You have to tell ChatGPT this. Now they changed the game. They're actually going to, they're listening. One thing about products today, and even it's all happening in real time. You don't have to wait for these annual releases. Everything is happening in real time. So these updates, they're actually what we put into an AI to get what we want is actually helping them develop it further, which is good and bad, but good stuff. So this is a good update, and we'll just move on to her. Let's get into. I want to find one where she does like a prediction. Is this the one? There's one here where she, let's see. I know there was one with, okay, here we go. This is it.
Let's build a machine learning model to predict the outcome of a very special game happening tomorrow. Today we're trying to predict who is more likely to win Buffalo Bills versus New England Patriots with a computer. The computer unfortunately can't watch any highlights and say, yeah, the Patriots are looking so good. It needs receipts and numbers and a trail of evidence that it can learn from. So today we're building a simple supervised machine learning model called logistic regression, and it's a binary classification model. This means it will learn from past NFL games, understand what recent team performance usually leads to a win, and output a probability that it thinks the home team will win. Today we're using this dataset from Kaggle, and in its raw form the data is extremely detailed at the play-by-play level, so let's get back to this specific matchup. For our libraries today we'll need NumPy for math, Pandas for data, and a bunch of tools from scikit-learn to make our machine learning model.
So what she's doing is she's, in Python, she's she's writing the code to say where to take it from, where to import it to. So you could watch this for more and watch her channel, but they're very thorough. This is a 5-minute.
NFL red pie and negative means otherwise.
So this is a 5-minute TikTok. Very, very detailed. Lera's killing it. Subscribe to her channel. Good stuff. Yeah, so she's our creator of the week. Great job. So let's move on, shall we? Let's see. I think I had something else I wanted to show. No, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for the creator of the week. We're going to not use TikTok as much. Oh, yes. Sorry. Damn. My favorite. The Apple strategy's back. Our buddy, I'm just going to click on it. I'm just going to bring it right up. Screw it. No introduction. Here he is.
I can't believe Apple's act.
Okay. So, our buddy's back. This isn't from his channel, totally not from his channel, but someone is repurposing this. But anyways, this is Apple's strategy. So we're gonna watch this, and this is just gonna confirm that their strategy is to leak. And they're leaking it right to him. So this is 2 minutes. I'm gonna fast forward for some parts, but here we go.
Actually doing this. We're about to get the MacBook Pro that we've always wanted to see, and today I want to show you what this device looks like, including all the new features that Apple has been working on, as pretty much every major part of this laptop is about to change. So let's start off first with the way it's going to look. It's no secret that in recent history, Apple has been making a lot of their products a lot thinner. It first started with the iPad Pro, and they slimmed down the Apple Watch, and then we got the iPhone Air. So following this and all of the rumors for the MacBook Pro, well, the same thing is about to happen here. We're hearing the new MacBook model. In our renders, I think the new design looks great, but of course, when you're using the MacBook Pro, you're spending all of your time looking at the display, and Apple has 3 massive true actual black color levels, so it's essentially going to be the best looking screen. iPad Pro, it's likely going to be a tandem stacked brightness, which traditionally, it's the fact that for the first time in how OLED isn't the most interesting part of this new MacBook Pro's display. It's the fact that for the first time in the Mac's history, this
Okay, so what he's going to say now, he's going to talk about the Mac is coming with a touch screen. So it's coming with a touch screen, but it's coming with a touch screen. How he's getting these leaks, I don't know. I do know it's coming from Apple, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, but just to show you, like, they're planting this stuff, but it's kind of cool just to get a sneak peek. So they're actually going to put a different kind of hinge, so everybody knows when you touch your screen. And this is where Apple's super innovative, is when you touch your screen, the monitor always pushes back. Like, it always, like, gives a little. So here.
is also going to be a touchscreen display. No, this is not a joke. I am being dead serious. After all of this time, Apple is actually going to put a touchscreen on the Mac. I just have to say this a few times because it truly does not sound real. Interestingly, Apple's also said to approach their touchscreen on a PC different than everybody else in the industry has. So they're using a special type of hinge that will make the screen move around less so that you can't like push your MacBook Pro or have it wobble while you're interacting with content. By no means anything groundbreaking, but I'm sure Apple will introduce this as the best touchscreen Mac experience and not just copying what everybody else has been doing for 2 decades. I can't believe Apple's actually doing it.
Okay, so that's it for him. But as you could see, he has, as I said before, he has some pretty detailed renderings, pretty extensive details as well about the product. Looking forward to it. I mean, I like the touchscreen factor. I think it's cool. It just goes to show you that they're going to embrace this type of product. Where's the iPad from here? It'll still be relevant. I mean, the iPad Pro with like the 12 or 13-inch iPad Pro, it's just a thin computer. I don't know. I'm not really... I have an iPad. I don't use it. It's not something I use. So, I mean, our phones are big enough. I feel personally, and this, I feel the iPad is kind of lost, I guess, for, it's kind of in this gray area. I mean, if you are reading books and things like that, you get the mini, I don't know. maybe it's good for documents. I don't like reading documents on my phone. So maybe the iPad has its niche in kind of this reader portable, you want to execute, but don't want to bring your full laptop. There's a market out there. I was told a while ago when I worked in the, hospitality industry, doing all the marketing, there's a product for everyone. So if this is it, if you look at the comments, it says this is definitely BS, touch screen. All I want is the Apple logo to light up again. Okay, so we'll move on from that. Let's get into, Robinhood. So Robinhood had some news this week, actually. Did I pull it up? I should have. Where are we with Robinhood? Okay, so Robinhood actually came out with parlays in the, I can't find it. I pulled it up somewhere. So just a quick Robinhood update. Man, Robinhood, I've been a recent Robinhood member, gold member actually on Robinhood. I really like the experience. I like it. It gets me where I need to go. Big graphics. I mean, I'm sure, there are some enhancements that can be made because every platform is always evolving. But overall, I really like the Robinhood experience. So Robinhood came out with new features for the prediction markets this week. I think they're cool. The parlay part is great. The parlay inside like a sport and then outside is great. Like you could say Ryan Licker's gonna drive in 3 runs, and also the Fed is gonna raise rates, and you could have these parlays that are cheaper and could lead to more money for you. So really good feature there. I know there's some AI, their platform AI. I saw the keynote where one of the head engineers or developer said, if Oracle falls, drops $2, place an order, and it did it, and then you just have to confirm it. So big things happening from Robinhood. Again, this is all happening in real time. There's developments. They're constantly evolving. These products are constantly evolving. Another thing, just to speak about Robinhood and Robinhood Gold. Robinhood, I love how if you're gold, you could attach your bank account and you could get an instant transfer. Like if you want to buy, you don't have to wait. So when you first join, there's like a little bit of a threshold that you could get your funds instantly. But on Robinhood Gold, I don't even know exactly what the number is, but if you deposit, your funds are usually available right away on Gold. And that helps tremendously because you don't have to wait for your money. Now, other platforms do have, if you attach your debit card, you get instant transfer at no fee. But if you transfer back out, you have to attach your bank account. And there's just in general, payments and transactions, the world is shifting to this real-time model. Nobody wants to wait. Everybody wants it now. So that's blockchain, that's really building payment systems that are safe, secure, transparent, and boom, you got your money to and from at a minimum transaction fee. Sometimes there's only fees on one side, maybe to withdraw like some platforms have, but great news from Robinhood. It's interesting where things are going to go next. Almost what is next to be integrated? What is next to be integrated into this ecosystem? I talked about the mortgage industry, kind of that needs to be democratized. What is next? Where is that next thing? I talked about feeds, your TV, what you're watching, your digital platform fee, your digital platform or where you're consuming shows and content is your next feed. That unique serialized experience that is really catered to what you want and what you need and what they assume you need. So there's a lot of things coming. It's what's next. We think about. I do think not necessarily a new technology, but I think the next step in all this stuff with the prediction markets, because if you go on the Robinhood app, it says Buff versus Philadelphia, for example. I think the next step is the Players Association and the leagues are going to start licensing the IP to these prediction markets. I think the next big thing is Kalshi is going to get they're going to get the IP from the leagues. That's my prediction. It just another thing, trust, right? It just builds trust. I mean, that's what you want. That's why a game has the players and the teams, not just the players. They got the NFLPA and the NFL. They got to have both for that credibility. So it's a very interesting, but that's what I feel is the next thing. It is definitely the IP, like Disney, first mover. When they give the IP to ChatGPT, they'll give it to other platforms too. That's another thing, is that Kalshi could be the prediction market partner for a whole bunch of people. It's not exclusive just to, let's say, Robinhood or Webull or these other companies. It's actually, it's like wearing Nike kicks and Adidas apparel, or a New Era hat and a Nike shirt and On shoes. If the person is the entity that needs the partnerships, they welcome it all. So it's a little different than back in the day when if you were Nike head to toe. We saw this change actually when Nike took over the NFL, when they didn't do the hats. They let New Era do the hats. Usually the team who outfitted the uniforms took the hat license as well. So to me, it all started back then before this super digital revolution, is that Nike was like, we don't have to do everything. There's not money in everything. So interesting to see what's next. I definitely think the next thing coming will be the licensing to the leagues. Now, another thing, the gambling issues with the NBA, Chauncey Billups and all those allegations, they got to be straightened out, because as we see the individual yes, no's that Robinhood's talking about too, we need to be mindful of the corruption, potential corruption, and we've seen it already. But exciting news. What's next on your financial platform? I could say democratizing mortgages. I also have another idea about the building you live in. Okay, why is Amazon not giving you information or suggested items based on things people buy for the building? Let's say you just added an address to your profile, your Prime account. It should say common items bought at the Ascent or whatever building you live in. Common items bought at the Emerson. Common items bought at 400 Central, which is behind us right there. Yeah, right there. That's just the next in targeting, right? Is it technology? Not really, but it's a marrying of tech and just basic targeting. So I do feel that there's this revolution coming that will even be more specific, because when you move into an apartment or people are buying Christmas decorations or lights for your balcony, that you probably want those same lights that are cool. So if there's an algorithm that's telling you, hey, this is a common item bought on this in this location, I mean, it makes sense. They'll probably see an uptick in sales. So cool stuff there. That's just the targeting optimization. The next item on the list today is Shopify. So let's pull up what Shopify did. Okay, so if you're a student to the game like I am, I have a Shopify account. I just canceled it because honestly, it's tough. I'm not really. When you start a business, you got to be all in. So I'm all in on creating content. I'm not all in on selling t-shirts. If I sold a t-shirt, 1, 2, 10, you got to go all into what you want to do, what the core of the business is. So Shopify, if you've worked with Shopify, you know, and I've worked on multiple stores, no money, millions of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in revenue a year, millions of dollars. I worked on every type of Shopify iteration, paid, using Shopify to build the site, everything. I always thought, and this is my perception. I was like, damn, they have so much data. They have so many stores. They got to have some sort of AI predictive, what is it called? It's not a decision tree. It's the forest. I'm trying to think of the word. I can't. So model, like the forest model, like iterating, they could build all these prediction. They could build all these predictive models about what you're going to buy. Now, if you see this, so Shopify launches a product network that will natively integrate items from across merchants. So if you're searching, basically in a nutshell, and this changes the game. If you're on my site searching for a t-shirt, and you search something that is not my store, they will suggest other stores for you. Kind of like eBay, but you're still on eBay. You're not necessarily knowing you're still on Shopify. You're going to that other store. This is the next frontier. This is it. No more are you stuck in that one lane. Now, where I see some issues would be, how do they serve this content? How do they serve? Do they do it by rating? It's just going to incentivize people to really deliver that premium experience on their store so they could be favored. That's as a shop owner, I would say, well, why would they get placement? Why would they get ahead of me if they were searching for a product and then they went out to the greater ecosystem? What do they have? Bottom line, Shopify's got a lot of fucking data and they're about to leverage it and make more people money. So let's take a look at the article real quick. The new Shopify product network is cosmetically similar to platform ad products like Google Performance Max, Meta Advantage Plus Shopping, Amazon Performance Plus, in the sense that advertisers aren't really in control of the campaign. All seller sets a target per acquisition. Okay. Yeah. I guess if you're selling items, sure, but as I've said before, these set and forget campaigns, I proceed with caution on set and forgets. But then again, something like Shopify, that's all they're doing. They have so many fucking signals. Monetization is another factor that it has defined Shopify's entry to advertisers is its reluctance in a way to earn ad revenue. Okay. All right. Just higher commission opportunities. The big prize for Shopify merchants though is the chance to retain customers who might have departed on a sale entirely and instead have a larger transaction value. So perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's great timing. I think it's great timing. You know, a lot of these advancements are all about timing. So if you're getting launching this now, it's the right time, because I feel like Shopify's mature enough. They have a ton of data. They're getting even more data these days and then being able to crunch data better. So it's great for them. It's great for these sellers who could go out there and actually bid and get their items in front of people that normally wouldn't see them. So cool stuff there. Everybody wants a new entry point. This is a new entry point. Great job for Shopify. We saw her. This is, I believe I've been to this store. Oh no, this is not the one I've been to. So here's just a cool article. So I've talked about this, like the setting and forgetting and all this stuff, these platforms that are crunching numbers with AI and using large LLMs, large language models, and just queries, scraping. 8and8 has actors. I mean, what I'm discovering is that there's still something to be said about your creative, trends, design driving the future of retail. So Target has officially opened a new Target Soho. It's features curated by an area that displays the favorite Target finds of influential voices. The concept store, which includes sleep and lounge items, skincare. In 2026, Target plans to expand the concept store's offerings by including new experiential zones, seasonal activations, and cafe event programming per the release. The store is a bold reflection of our commitment to style and is just one of our larger investment Target's design-driven future that grows our roots deeper into New York City. I've been to the Target on, oh my God, it used to be there was a New York sports club I used to go to and then change and then run Central Park at lunch. But there was a huge water main break and they never came back. They actually built a Target in the remodeled building. I think they built a new building, but they built a Target there. And as you could see, like the retail experience is evolving, because if you go to a new Target versus an old Target, it's completely different. These retail experiences are evolving. You know, these concept stores are not always a win-win, because there was a Wawa concept closing Florida. This is good about being live. We could just go and find what we want. Here we go. Yeah. I understand that. Here we go. Let's go C-store. Okay, so it's a funny story because why isn't it? Oh, it came out. There we go. Okay, so it's a funny story. I actually saw them building this location. I didn't know what it was. It was on, I think it's on Seminole Boulevard. Is it on Seminole? Gulf to Bay. It's at the corner. It's near Seminole. Okay. It's in Largo. Yeah. I know it's in Largo. So they had a concept. It was a standalone drive-through only. All of my New Yorkers know about the Dairy Barn. You pull up, the guy gets your shit, and you come back. So not every concept works. It seems like a good concept, but what some of these brands don't realize is that there's something to be said about going into a Wawa or going into a Buc-ee's. These are physical experiences. I think one of these shortcomings of I'm going to buy everything on Amazon is like, yeah, you have a balance. Are you mostly buying online? Sure. But the brick and mortar, the experience for some brands, I mean, it will never go away because humans want in-person experiences, maybe not as much as they used to, but they do want some. They want to be around people. Being lonely and being alone may suit a very small portion of the population, but these experiences are important. So the retailer closed its standalone drive-through location in Largo. In September, and no longer offers the store type across the network. It opened its first drive-through in West Hampton. In early 2001, they debuted a freestanding drive-through with no in-store access. The company eventually debuted 2 more solos in Pennsylvania. Since then, the New Jersey drive-through has been converted into a pickup-only store, and the other locations have closed entirely. Until recently, it appeared that the Largo location, which opened in June, was the only drive-through left. When asked why Wawa recently shuttered the location, the company spokesman said Wawa is constantly testing. Okay. I love how they test in Florida. That's my favorite thing. They test shit in Florida. I love it. Yeah, so, and then also, okay, a great point here is it says Wawa's latest closure also highlights the challenge for a fuelless convenience stores. Interesting point. Fuelless convenience stores. I mean, they got a point there. They tried it, but what about fuelless convenience stores? There's always going to be a need for fuel. I would say that most of the Wawas have charging stations. I mean, there's one right here in Pinellas County, not too far. It's like 2 miles away. It's a supercharger. And they have like 5 new model chargers and then the older generation. So they're right at the Wawa. I'm still going into the Wawa even to browse. And that's important. You want that experience. Buc-ee's is not going to test pilot a store that you can't go into. So I think it's really, really important that there's testing, number one. And 2, I think this human experience for some things will never go away, at least in the near future. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some way to virtually do shit, possibly. But this stuff, the experience with some brands is very essential to the brand's success, is the short of it. So interesting as far as concept goes. So yeah, retail is developing and they're testing. They're testing Target stores. They're testing Wawa concepts. They're testing a lot of things. I mean, the Nike town in New York City is completely different and in a different building than it was when it first launched. That building saw multiple concepts, multiple changes. When it first opened, you could play basketball on the top floor. They took that out immediately. Very shortly after the opening, they took that out because people would just go there to ball. Obviously, you're a New Yorker. That's what you're going to do. So that's that. Let's take a look here. We did that. So let's just Amazon. Amazon's interesting. So Amazon is it's getting a bit easier to find Amazon shoppers on Samsung TV. Samsung's ads built a new integration with Amazon Publisher Cloud, which is a clean room solution within the larger Amazon Publisher Suite. Advertisers that buy Samsung inventory through the Amazon ads can use both companies' data to target CTV campaigns as well as measure post-campaign results. This inventory includes ad spots on Samsung TV devices and the Samsung TV Plus network of fast channels. So that's what's happening. One-stop shop for these one-stop shop for these DSPs. They're adding multiple things. The thing I'm most intrigued about is not just the placements, but the conversion. How to better convert. How do we seamlessly move? And this is just talking about the ultimate goal is increasing Samsung inventory, like I just stated. Joining forces with CTV providers is not completely new for Amazon. It had a massive partnership with Roku. And then sharing of data. See, Amazon wants to make money. So they are for sure going to share data. They used to never do it, but now there's competitors. There's a lot of competition because I can't believe I'm even going to say the legacy advertisers like a Google, they have a YouTube TV and they're getting to your device already. So it makes sense for a Samsung and Amazon to partner together so they could get I'm just reading a little bit. So they could get more exposure for their subscribers. Their TV watchers, smart TV watchers. And like I said, that's the next thing. That's the next frontier. There's ads based off your AI searches that's coming, no matter what they say. And then also, I feel that however you're consuming or streaming, whatever platform you're streaming on, you'll have a very, very customized feed soon. And the thing that needs to be bridged and less friction, more trust, is how do you get from the TV to conversion? For me, I'm not one who likes I love when I love a QR code when I have to log into a platform. To buy a product, there's got to be something seamless. There's something out there. There's something being developed in tech that's more seamless. So that's another thing that's happening. Let's see what's next. This is, I don't know if this is relevant. Talked about that. Oh, this is my favorite right now. Let's talk about vibe marketing, right? Let's talk about, let me just position this mic better. Let's talk about vibe marketing. So, vibe marketing, what is it? What is vibe marketing? Vibe marketing is exactly what I've been calling designers who think they're designers that use Canva. Vibe coding. I could call myself a vibe coder. I'm not a data scientist. I'm not a professional coder. I'm a vibe coder. This vibe marketing, vibe marketing movement is really annoying. And this is what a lot of products startups, let's say, a lot of startups are really capitalizing off this vibe marketing feel. So because here it is, you're using these LLMs and machine learning and these platforms like Canva and Gemini and image creation in Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT. You're using these tools to, you're leveraging these tools as, in your marketing portfolio, and it's not necessarily like, you're not necessarily a marketer just because you could write a prompt. Sorry. So just to restate, because I'm going to cut this up later, vibe marketing is Canva. Vibe marketing is asking ChatGPT and all these AIs, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, to do the marketing for you, create the image, give you these assets. And a lot of them you could tell. Like I was looking at something the other day, I'm like, oh, that's definitely AI. Or there are companies that just leverage it too much and it doesn't look original. So yes, if you're starting out and you're building something, these vibe marketing startups and vibe marketing platforms will be perfect for you. 100% perfect for you. I actually recommend it if you're starting out. But know what's out there. Tell these platforms what not to do when you're vibe marketing. Vibe coding is a little different because vibe coding doesn't necessarily give you the answer. You need to have a solid foundation. It'll tell you things, but if you put it into code, whatever that platform is, hold on. If you put it into a platform like Visual Studio Code, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Believe me, I've tried it. I hate to say this, but I'm a vibe coder. I'd rather be a vibe coder than a vibe marketer. So let's take a look at this article about the vibes. So Vibe Marketing Manifesto, marketing is being transformed by practitioners using AI to compress strategy, creation, and execution from weeks into hours. Yeah, they're doing that, but it's kind of like, now listen, if you're doing that and you're producing your results, you're probably like a professional vibe marketer, which is great. It's all about delivering the results. So what is vibe marketing? Vibe marketing is machine-accelerated creativity. Humans translate intentions into outcomes using AI as an accelerant. They articulate strategy, produce creative, add copy, graphics, video, ensure compliance, and handle everything in between. Okay, so there's a huge thing there. So add copy, graphics, and video. Your results there, your vibe marketing production is only as good as what you put into it. So be very careful, proceed with caution. The vibe conceptually, let's see if it'll highlight it for me. I don't want to play. Okay. So conceptually, similar to vibe coding, vibe marketing combines the same human creativity with AI to accelerate thinking, strategy, and execution with marketing, sales, and operation. So, I've tested all this stuff. I've gotten hands-on. It's not all perfect. Now, if you are willing to learn how to vibe market on a high level, you're going to be successful. It's just the days of honing your craft and it's access. There's no barriers to entry, which is fantastic because there's some ideas out there that always get, I guess, screwed or don't get the recognition they deserve because there's barriers that they're just not willing to pass. Like I've had it myself where I had an idea, I got one no when I was younger, and that's it, done. And then a few years later, there's people doing what I said and making millions of dollars off of it. Don't even want to go there. But it's actually true. But so yeah, the vibe marketing, vibe coding, it's happening. Vibe marketing increased 700% last year, rising from approximately to 1,000 to 6,500 monthly searches. Think of vibe marketing as the marketing equivalent to a jazz ensemble where individual creativity flourishes with a shared rhythm, each player responding to subtle cues in real time. This is only possible in a modern AI-powered MarTech stack. 100% true. But like I said, if you need to find the platform that's right for your business, present the prompt in a succinct way that's going to deliver the result you need, and you will be the best vibe marketer in the world. I'll love it, but you can't be lazy about it because otherwise you're just going to look similar to all these other people just using it as like a quick fix. So just this whole article here is I'll link it up. So listen, the bottom line is be all you could be as a vibe marketer. And, I'm going to keep doing my thing as a vibe coder. But vibe marketing, just remember, not everything these platforms return are 100% aligned with your request. For instance, if you ask it to when you ask it to build ad copy for Google responsive ads, RSAs, responsive search ads, right? If you ask it to build search ads and tell it you need to create a baseline, search for the policy restrictions, and this is a tip, search for the policy critical, identify the policies, restrictions, and best practices for Google RSAs. Then put in your topic, get the keywords, and then submit the keywords and say, using these keywords, produce RSAs that follow X, Y, these policies, restrictions, and best practices. And then see what you get and review it, because you might not be sharing. I always talk about value. These things might be communicating the value you need to. So another thing would be create RSAs using these keywords, and in each ad should have this value incorporated somehow. Even after that, it sometimes returns things that are over the character limits or don't make any sense. So bottom line, if you're a vibe marketer, I know a lot of you are in marketing positions that are vibe marketers, review the responses. It's not perfect. Believe me, it's not perfect. Also, just another tip, make sure that it's returning, it's being thorough, because I've prompted it for something and it only returned back 3 out of the 4 things. And then when I said, what about this? It said, oh, you're right. Thanks for pointing that out. I mean, concerning replies. And this is on the paid version, people, on the paid version. So vibe marketing, hate it, love it. It's here. You got to embrace it, but just leverage it better. Always try to vibe market better every day, because you can, as you analyze results and what works, you could be a better vibe marketer. Another thing I like is sound human. The images should not look like they came from an AI platform. Use something like that, critical, essential. Just use those type of prompts. But vibe coding and vibe marketing are here to stay. I am a vibe coder. I'm trying to be better than that. But like I said, I'm constantly iterating as I'm advising you guys too. Last comment on this, that's really not related to this article, is that there's a lot of startups saying that they're going to API to all your ad platforms and just be able to optimize and give you the real story. Love that. But I proceed with caution, because there's nothing like getting your hands in there and understanding what's happening, rather than just set and forget blinders on when it comes to a platform. So just be really, really mindful of, just be really mindful of, just be really mindful of what's being produced. So, just gives, a few other cool things is what is happening is that I don't think the AI is intelligent enough to, when it comes to niche products, to replace marketing campaign design with system design, replace analytics with simulation, something I'm trying to do right now. I will be simulating in the next 2 weeks because that's the future. Random forest, that's what I was looking for. The random forest, rather than a decision tree, you're taking all those trees with a refresh of data and having a random forest model. Love it. Look it up. Random forest. I will be random foresting. That's even a thing. Yeah, so that's vibe marketing. Another thing we'll talk about today is tokenization. Tokenization. Let's see. I'm actually going to return to TikTok. Oops. Oops. Here we go. Sorry for the dead spot. Here we go. What's this? Okay, here we go. Going with this one.
Tokenization in 1 minute. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that, but let's give it a go. Hi, I'm Jazzy Cooper. This is Crypto in a Minute. So tokenization is really just the digital representation of something in the real world in a digital format. In this case, we're talking about the blockchain. So taking something in the real world, it could be anything. It could be equity, it could be something that you own, it could be a certain privilege like the ability to vote, and taking that entity or aspect that's off-chain and bringing it onto the blockchain, representing it in a digital format. So typically, once you have an understanding of what you would like to represent, you'll use an existing standard such as ERC20 on Ethereum or an IOU-like fungible token on the XRP ledger, and you'll actually take that real-world thing and represent it on the blockchain. Now, why do you want to do that? What's the purpose of just tokenizing something for the sake of it? There isn't one. So effectively, after you've tokenized it, you want to go ahead and do something with it. You want to send it as a payment, or you want to trade it or collateralize it so you can access a loan and use one of the many advantages of tokenizing real things on the blockchain.
SEC signals green light for tokenization. So, yeah, it's coming. Issued a bulletin on crypto custody risk, private, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's pay. Perfect segue. Let's talk about this. So yeah, SEC signals green light for finance shift towards tokenization. You know, it's moving everything onto the blockchain and just making things tradable that normally weren't tradable. So, and transparent as well. So things are being built on these platforms. Ethereum's a very popular platform to build on. So yeah, tokenization is going to be the norm in the future. Now, if you scroll down, let's talk about something else. The paywall. Something that has been so cyclical is paywalls. So back in the day, not too long ago, you wouldn't want to, if something had a paywall, it was like, I heard something the other day. If you had a paywall, if it said call for price, a guy writes, yeah, something that says call for price means I'm never visiting the site ever again and you're dead to me. So this paywall stuff, that's how we all felt. I mean, sometimes that's how I feel with some when I look at watches and things like that. But I'm definitely I'm definitely like seeing paywalls for articles pop back up again. prior to COVID and during COVID, I think like up until maybe 2 years ago, I wouldn't never think of paying for information. But I think AI has changed that to get these API connections, and you're paying for queries. So there is so many paywalls now. I was looking at an article on The Verge that I was going to share, but it just gave me a little bit and said I needed to sign up monthly $5. There's so many paywalls now. It's trending. It's trending in a different. It's trending in a way that's you're gonna have to be paying monthly, and it's just a subscription society. You know, I'll be the first to say it. This is a subscription society. We are ruled by the subscription. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy when you think about it. But now everything is a monthly subscription. Everything is renewable revenue. They have the connections. They want to be able to monetize. If you think about it, a lot of these media companies that were not monetizing are gone, you know, or been bought and sold to people who just don't care that they're losing money. So the economics, the unit economics, the lifetime value and the cost per acquisition and how they could keep their house, the lights on in their house is definitely paywalls. Paywalls are back, and that's how and you know what, the information is now starting to correlate with the pay. So before you were thinking, what am I going to pay for this freaking regular shit I used to get? Now you're seeing that some of these higher level articles are behind the paywall. So the economics have changed. All these other old school legacy news sources are out. And if you want the really, really good insights that you could leverage, you're going to have to pay for it. I had to sign up for X API, for the X API, for ChatGPT's API, to create an agentic AI. I had to sign up for it. That you're paying. So this new the freemium is the freemium window or the freemium segment or the freemium features are getting smaller and smaller, where these other features are popping up and you know, people are going to be forced to move into there, just like you're forced to move into the premium AI if you really want the good results or things like that. So I'm definitely seeing a super resurgence in paywalls. You know, I trace back the paywall. The paywall really hit home for me. It was really impacted me when the Champions League went to CBS before this new format. I hate this new format. I'm actually I only start watching to the knockout stage. I used to watch all the group stages because it was clean, simple, and you knew what was going on. I actually like the away goal stuff. But the CBS was like, it's going to be on Paramount Plus now. And you're like, huh? Like, I'm going to have to pay to watch? And sure enough, they held firm with it, and people pay. Think about UFC is now going to be behind a full paywall. It's going to be a lesser cost, but you have to subscribe to the channel, and they look at this 7 or 10 year deal as if they're paying annually or monthly. The money is going to surpass the pay-per-view spend, the pay-per-view buy spend over the course of the deal, which makes sense. So paywalls are here. They're actually, more items are just going behind the wall, right? Behind the wall. Everything's happening. It's moving behind the wall. And a lot of the articles I try to share, I try to get these free these free things every once in a while. But yeah, so cool stuff with or more money out of your pocket with paywalls coming. So we'll see big things happening, more and more behind the paywall, including AI features. I did read something about bundling, which is interesting. How there's individual AI platforms that'll like book your trip all the way down to submitting your information, and they do it all for you. But those are not as frequented because of they're able to. I know I'm getting off on a tangent, but they're able to supplement costs by other revenue streams that you sign up for and making AI a part of the bundle. So interesting thing there. I think that's hugely important, or very important. So paywalls are here. They're here to stay, and more things are going behind the paywall. Our freemium offers are just shrinking by the minute because, again, we're all in real time, right? So that's an interesting thing. This is interesting. This is very cool. This is something I saw on X. I'm just going to give you a few other X items here. Let's just increase it. Okay, so this is the AI investment cycle visualized. Almost $1 trillion has been invested into AI so far, and that may just be the start. So it's going to start in 2019, and we're going to let it run for we'll fast forward it, but let's say. And then we'll go right to the end to where we're at right now. So look, it goes from here. Crazy. $131 billion per year. So it's Meta, massive. So speaking of Meta, right? Meta is interesting because Meta is taking everybody's Meta is taking everybody from chat. They're taking everybody. They're poaching everybody to build their AI platform. I've never used it. It's not baked into my daily tasks. I have the Gemini app. I have the ChatGPT app. I have the Grok app. It's not baked into my everyday practice. It's on Instagram. I see it on Instagram when you search, but that's about it. I think that's one thing I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for how Meta's AI, when it launches as a standalone solution. I don't even know if it is. I'm up to date on everything. I don't hear anything about Meta's AI except that they're poaching talent from everyone. So especially Apple. So Meta AI is an interesting thing. Maybe we'll talk about that in depth for the next breakdown. Let's see what we got. So that's an interesting graphic. Now, this is cool. Let's talk about Elon's boring company. And I don't mean boring, but quietly, Elon has so this is the Vegas loop, guys. The Vegas loop, where Elon is currently building a tunnel system. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's certain things that are operational. Very quietly, this has launched, and it basically bypasses all the traffic downtown. It's happening. So The Vegas Loop already feels like a cheat code as of December 2025. 8 stations, 3.5 miles of operational tunnels from the convention center and nearby resorts, over 3 million rides completed, turns 30 to 45-minute surface rides into 2 to 8-minute tunnel rides, free inside LVCC, $5 to $10 for resort connections, Cybertrucks deployed on routes, full service driving tests underway, driverless rides coming soon, and that's just the start. The Boring Company approved 68 miles of tunnel and 104 stations connecting the airport to downtown Allegiant Stadium, ULV, and more, probably also to the new baseball stadium. Yeah, so the Boring Company quietly doing its thing. Let's take a look.
We're huge fans of the Loop. We always stay at Resorts World, so it makes it.
I love the Loop. I give it a 10. Of course, you need to be here.
You know what I'm concerned about? I'm concerned about the single lane. Single lane in tunnels as a New Yorker never works out. Never. You know, follow them on social. Follow ChatGPT on social. Find some stuff that's going on. Not going to do that. I think that is it for today. Let me just check my notes. Let me just check my notes. Where are my notes for this episode? So let me just get my camera back up. We talked about that. Vibe coding. We talked a little bit about home buying, disruption, startups. Lera, we talked about. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Again, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support. Please subscribe. If I could ask for one thing, please subscribe. We'll get a little more into sports business the next live, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much.